Opened up the ballot, what did I see? The same old suit staring back at me. They say we'll reform with a straight face, but it's just a circus.
So the week before last I went to the Advance UK meeting in London, and what a fantastic day I had. I met some of my YouTube heroes, Liam Tufts, young lad, really nice young lad, young Bob. Met all sorts of Richard Inman, whose channel I like a lot. He seems a good guy. I'm meeting him in the flesh. He was a true gent, and it was nice when you meet people and they come up to your expectations. Just polite and just general good manners, and and you agree with what they say as well. Now Richard had a bit of a meltdown the other day when Restore UK were formed by Rupert Lowe, and to some extent I sent him a message, I don't know if he got it, and said, look, we've got to make the best of a bad job, because I was so euphoric after the Advance UK meeting that I thought to myself, we finally got a party that cares about the country. Finally got a leader that's got the balls to stand up to people. And then Rupert Lowe, who I don't know, no one's asked him, I don't think. I've not seen anyone say to him, why didn't you just lead Advance UK? What was it about Advance UK that you didn't like? What was it that made you feel you had to start another party? And I've not seen anyone ask him that. I'd love to ask him that. I've tried on Twitter, but you never get an answer, do you? So yeah, away we go. If Advance UK get morphed into, sucked up by Restore, I'll have to go with it, because they're our only chance. When I look at Reform, who I would vote for if there was an election tomorrow, but with a real bitter taste in my mouth, when I look at them, it's just Tories too. And when I saw how they acted during the COVID period, and Farage wanted Tony Blair in as vaccines are, as though Blair hadn't killed enough people in his life, I thought, no. And when I looked at I'm not going to go through it all again, but I looked at the funding sources for Reform UK, and when it's the same WEF, George Soros linked donors who were donating to the Tory party, you're just going to get a Tory party, and that's how I see them. Obviously, anything's better than Labour. I'd vote for an invalid goldfish before I would vote for Starmer. And the Greens, he's nutty as a fruitcake. The guy that hypnotises people to make their breasts bigger, now saying that he could lead the country. Well, I tell you what, when I see people saying, oh yeah, vote Green, and with little, what's his name, little guy in the back, Mosim Ali, is it, shouting Ali Akbar when he wins a council seat, I just everything that I don't stand for are the Greens. I believe in women's rights. They've trodden all over them. Anyhow, going off subject. Yes, I went to the meeting in London, and it was excellent. Here's a few snippets from speakers at the meeting.
Hi everybody. I come with no notes, and that's for a reason. I can't read. I grew up on a farm, and I want to tell you about some of the things which I enjoyed as growing up as a kid. Some of the things which On a farm, you're never going to get to do anywhere else in the world, especially nowadays. We climbed trees, we fell out. We stacked bales, they fell over. If anything broke, you repaired it with a bit of bale twine. All things what made us who we were. When I got asked to stand for the college, I genuinely thought to myself, what have I got to offer? But then I remembered. We've been blessed in this country. As kids, we grew up, we went to Sunday school. We were taught morals, we were taught values, things what we've forgotten. Most of us hasn't. I travelled the UK last year with my partner. I know I'm racist because those who know me and know my partner will know she's black Nigerian. And for those who say the British are racist, excuse me, but fuck you. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of Advance UK, I wouldn't have been able to get away with saying that at an academic conference. I want to speak about how our universities have been the cancer corrupting our culture. Even the United Arab Emirates won't send their students here anymore. They're afraid their children will be radicalised by the Muslim Brotherhood and Marxists. I suspect they're also wary of their kids coming home believing that men can get pregnant and women can have penises. So it's a sensible decision. I mean, why pay for indoctrination when TikTok will give it to you for free? And myself, that actually there's something more fundamental that has to underpin not just our immigration policy, but all our policies. It is who we are. What are we as a country? Who are we? What do we wish to be? How do we wish to move forward? Unless you've established that principle, those sets of principles, you're at sea making other policies. You won't know how to make the other policies you need to make to save the United Kingdom if you can't first establish who we are. And I'm afraid, as much as Keir Starmer and the liberal globalist lunatics would like to categorise British culture as something of an inferior debate. They call it the culture wars. We're not going to entertain the culture wars. As much as they might wish to categorise it as that, actually British culture is what we're fighting for.
And it was also nice to speak to like-minded people without getting abused and called all sorts of things just because you've got an opinion, just because you love your country and just because you want a decent upbringing for your grandchildren. Here's another speech. And another little snippet of a speech. And another little snippet. Leo Kearse gave a nice little, 10-minute bit of stand-up comedy stroke speech, which was both funny and interesting, and top man too.
That's extremely offensive to actual Nazis. I think if Hitler came back today and he saw a group of multi-ethnic people, a lot of whom are liberals, campaigning for British values, he'd be disgusted. These are the sorts of people who fought the Nazis. I'm not a Nazi, I hate socialism. I'm an open-minded guy, you know, I can see the good in communism. You know, I'm a fan of communism because it's actually the leading cause of death of communists. The bit of hope not hate, you know, hope not hate, the disgraced far left. You know, a senior member of Hope Not Hate was arrested and convicted for paedophilia charges. And they reckon they're the good guys. Apparently they were trying to get this event shut down, and they were going to then send people to monitor it, but then they realised we'd hit puberty. So they're not here. Yeah. A far left group with paedophiles as its members. Who'd have seen that coming? Who'd have seen that coming? It's ridiculous. So honestly, how can I be racist? I'm mixed race myself. Like, my mum's Anglo and my dad's Saxon. I hope that makes me diverse enough for Keir Starmer, who just yesterday said to be British is to be diverse. It's like, what about the ones who aren't? Are they still British? You know what I mean? It's like, you can say what you like about Keir Starmer, but I think he's done a wonderful job. He's the best Prime Minister Mauritius has ever had. People say it's racist to want to control borders. It's not. You know, I want to stop the small boats because you know, I've just seen the impact mass immigration has had on London. Just in the time I've lived in London, like so many Somalians have arrived that parts of London just don't feel like Bangladesh anymore. Stopping the boats isn't racist. Stopping the boats is sexist. Let's be honest, if those boats were full of hot Somalian babes, you know, all topless like in the National Geographic, like the men here would be down on the beaches saying, "Come on in, ladies. Mind your feet on the cobbles." You know? But they're not, it's all blokes. So we don't. And let's be honest, if it was women coming across in the boats, the French would be stopping them leaving. Yeah. And also, if it was women coming across in the boats, all the liberal women in Britain would be down on the beaches campaigning to get the borders closed. Like, stop these people coming in. No, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, I've talked for long enough. I'm going to bring on Richard Thompson now, who's going to introduce some of your speakers for this event. So thanks for listening. Happy New Year!
And of course Ben Habib, who I've got so much respect for. Last few days online there's been a disgruntled former advanced UK people slagging him off basically, but he's one man who's tried to get a party off the ground, and I think we need to cut him a bit of slack. I couldn't have done it, and also he's doing all the PR, he's here, there and everywhere. So as the party builds, I expect the treatment of people to be more personalised, to get better, and yeah, you're always going to get people that are unhappy, but as I say, I was over the moon, and to a certain extent I share Richard Inman's frustrations. The timing of Rupert Lowe, if he'd done it a couple of months ago, and either with Ben Habib in tow or not, it would have been a lot better. It would have saved people a lot of money. It would have saved members joining two parties. It would have made sense. Now Rupert Lowe, yeah, good guy doing his bit on the grooming gang scandal, which would never have seen the light of day had it not been, well, for Tommy Robinson and now Rupert Lowe. The government don't care about our kids. I have my concerns about Rupert Lowe, some of his investments, but someone said to me yesterday, if you're a 72-year-old man or whatever he is with 30 million in the bank, where would you invest? He's invested in green technologies, and my answer was, well, I wouldn't invest in green technologies, but I take your point. I would invest in real green technologies. I know a guy who's invented a way of basically neutralising emissions from exhaust fumes, but he's been to both the Scottish and British government, but They're not interested because they've already spent their budget on their own green projects. Okay, there's my thoughts. Will I back Restore? Yes, I will. If Advance aren't amalgamated with Restore, I will stay with Advance. I don't see it splitting the vote because I'm voting with my heart. I'm voting with what feels right, and let's face it, that's what a vote should be about. One thing I'd also like to say, the Alliance for Democracy and Freedom, they're standing candidates in Scotland. I think it's Hamilton, and there's some of their Belmont partners are standing candidates over Scotland and the Welsh elections too. So keep your eye out. The Alliance for Democracy and Freedom, pretty much like Advance UK from the point of view of policies, and if there's no Advance or Restore candidate in the area, Alliance for Democracy and Freedom or their Belmont partners, Sovereignty and a few others, just look them up. But they could do with your vote. Good people, patriotic, full of common sense, and I love them as a party. It's just that we were just too small to get any real interest, but lovely people and some great candidates. Give them your vote. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and yeah, tell me what you think. That's why I do these. Bye for now.
I opened up the ballot, what did I see? The same old suit staring back at me. They say we'll reform with a straight face, but it's just a circus in a different place. Reform our dancing to a hedge fund tune, singing lullabies to the conservative moon. Meanwhile, the left's busy protecting kids, while committees debate what nobody did. I don't need slogans wrapped in gold, I just want my Britain brave and bold. Rupert, why not join the fight? Advance UK's door is open tonight. I'll cheer Restore, I'll cheer Advance too, 'cause Britain needs something true. If Ben Habib calls the shots, I'll follow the line and finally see hope that's truly mine. Online safety for the children, they declare, while real problems float in the air. They vote, they filibuster, they posture and preen, but freedom drifts away unseen. Zach Polanski claims he can hypnotize, grow women's breasts. What a surprise! Is that the man we want to lead, or just a magic trick to fill the need? I don't need fantasy dressed as reform, I need a party that can weather the storm. Rupert, why not join the fight? Advance UK's door is open tonight. I'll cheer Restore, I'll cheer Advance too, 'cause Britain needs something true. If Ben Habib charts the course, I'll stay in line, 'cause finally I see hope that's truly mine. Red, blue, green, it's all the same. Different logos, but the rules remain. They shuffle papers, spin the news. We get the blame for what we choose. Politicians love to shout reform, while dodging storms they themselves perform. I'll stand outside their velvet rope with satire, sarcasm, and stubborn hope. This is my Britain, rough, proud, alive, where courage, not committees, helps us survive. No puppet masters, no magic men, just honest voices for the people.